My original entrance into volleyball was late. I was a tennis player, soccer player, football, and then at age 17, 17 and a half, I played, and within a year and a half, I became the player coach of my team. I didn't know anything about volleyball. So I started just looking at different books that were written, and there were very few books in the mid 60s about volleyball. And so I had a knack of learning and then kind of transcribing it into what does my team do? How do we train and practice? How do we play in the match? And I was working with another team, a younger team, and they would always say to me, "Hey, you're really good at this. You're really good at coaching." And at that time, I was still in college, majoring in biology and on a pre-med track. And then late in my fourth year of college, I started playing for the Olympic coaches club team. Jim Coleman, who was the Olympic coach in 1968, he had a club team in Chicago called Kenneth Allen. And I started playing on that team as I was going to medical school. And then Jim said to me, "Hey, if you ever aren't going to stay in medical school," because he knew that I was kind of debating, I'm going to become a coach at a college outside of Chicago where he was teaching chemistry, Jim Coleman, George Williams College. And so all of that made me think a little bit. And I decided after 1 year to quit med school, go and be his assistant coach, and also work on a master's degree in physical education, never having a physical education class in undergraduate. So that was my thrust into coaching. This was coaching men at that time as a player coach, George Williams College. And then I started coaching a very good women's team in the Chicago area that had 4 national team players on it. Was called the Chicago Volleyball Club. So that was my first start in coaching women, and it was just so different, but it was, that was my first start coaching women. I coached men as an assistant at George Williams, then went to Ohio State to coach men in 1974 to 1976. So that's kind of my formation as a coach. It came later, but it was something that I liked and I was good at.